Hello, my gorgeous friends. Are you looking for a makeup tutorial this winter which will give you beautiful skin that looks hydrated, skin like? Then you are at the right place. And to achieve a super hydrated makeup look, we are gonna use everything from the affordable section. If you're interested, let's get started. For the first thing, when you start a makeup, you have to prepare your lips. I'm using EOS lip balm and I'm just rubbing my lips so that it penetrates and it looks beautiful. And then I am going to use the Cetaphil moisturizer. This is my favorite one, and more than being my favorite, this is a dermatologically approved moisturizer, good for any skin type. Even if you have a sensitive skin, I'm just rubbing this into my skin so that my skin feels hydrated within a regular process. I would suggest spend your time in preparing your skin and lips, only then go on to the makeup. Now for the foundation, I'm going to use a full coverage foundation. If you are thinking that I'll get a skin like hydrated look with a full coverage foundation, how is it possible? And to ensure that my foundation look absolutely stunning, I have to prime my skin. For primer, first thing I'm gonna use is this Wet n Wild primer kind of an oil. This is absolutely stunner primer. Even if I'm not wearing makeup, I'm just wearing my moisturizer, sunscreen, I use it on regular days to keep every moisturizer, every bit of hydration locked in my skin. I'm just rubbing this across my skin. And after that, if you have pore issues like me, I have a little bit of pore around my T-zone, then use this Maybelline Baby Skin. This is absolutely stunner. Now, it's an important tip. Remember, whenever you're going to use any primer cream, always warm it up on your fingertips and then apply it on your skin. Do not rub it. Try to push it into your skin. This gives a even kind of canvas for you to work on. So for all those girls who are here and have oily skin and they think that they cannot pull this base makeup because they have oily skin and oil will start looking or peeping out of their base makeup, then use a primer that's called Master Prime from Maybelline. Trust me, all your oil problems will be given a pause. And I'm showing you Revlon Strobing cream. This is an absolute favorite. This is gonna work absolutely stunning for people like me who have pores. For girls who have texture or oily skin, this is gonna work absolutely fantastic. So just the tip to notice, do not use big amount of strobing cream, be it any strobing cream for any company, even if it says it's oil free. Little bit will work wonder. If you can see, I've got instantly that radiance which looks natural on my skin. And now let's move on to the next step. There is a pimple mark on my skin, so I'm trying to cover it with a little bit of age rewind concealer and around the areas where I have darkness. That's it. Now we'll moving on to the next part. I'll let it sit. Okay, so for the next part, I'm using my favorite full coverage Maybelline foundation from drugstore, and I'll just use this much, just one pump. Yes, you saw it right. We are not going to use hell lot of amount that we start looking cake. And the skin preparation we've done to make our skin look like skin after makeup goes in vain. I hope I'm making sense. Now comes another important tip. Whenever you are applying foundation, do not dab your brush. Okay, always apply your foundation in circular action so that it goes into your skin. It doesn't make a thick layer on your skin. It looks like skin. Okay, I am using little bit of foundation left on my brush on my eyes so that I don't have to use big amount of concealer later on my eyes, so that things look again natural. Just I've covered that pimple mark which was left with a small dot of foundation. Let it sit, and then again I'm blending it into the skin. This is how you can achieve good with less, right? Let me do my eyes offline. Wonderful, it's been done. Now we'll move on to the next part. The next part is, of course, highlighting the under eyes. I don't have any darkness issue, so I'm using a peach kind of an age rewind Maybelline concealer, and I'm using it very less. If you can see, this is absolutely a very thin layer of concealer around my eyes. The key to get a skin like base makeup or a foundation is to use less. I'm using the same old buffing brush from Tarte Cosmetic, which I use for my foundation. This is one of the best buffing brush I've found ever. So if you want to get it, I can leave the name in the description box. You can get it. And now I'm just buffing this concealer again into my skin. If you can see, very thin layer just to highlight. I have not used powder by now, if you have noticed, because the key to get a skin like of a makeup is to use as less as product and as less as powder possible. I've used very thin layer of concealer just to highlight, the parts I want to. After that, I'm done with the buffing. I'll move on to the next step. Before I move on to the next step, I'm bringing the camera up and close to show you how skin-like foundation application and concealer has been done. And now let me move on to the next step. Next step is using a translucent powder. I am using a translucent powder just under the eyes, because I am over 30 and a little bit of creasing does happen. If you don't have that much of creasing, I would suggest do not use baking. Absolutely avoid it. After this, there comes bronzers. For bronzers, my suggestion is either to use cream product or this butter bronzer from Physician Formula, which again gives you very smooth skin like feeling, which is natural and doesn't accentuate your texture. Remember, whenever you're trying to achieve a skin like makeup, the key is to use buttery kind of formulas or cream formulas. Right now, let's move on to the part which is my favorite these days, using blush. For blush, off late I've started using cheek tint cream blushes. I don't know why I have been in love with these. So now let's come on to the point where we were discussing how to get a skin like makeup. Whenever you are going to use blush, remember you will use a cream blush. Only then will you get skin kind of a makeup which is very natural, radiant. Do not go for anything which is a powder brush, and the time you use the powder blush, you will lose the point of getting a natural, radiant, healthy skin kind of a makeup. Trust me, to get this kind of a makeup look, you have to use cream blush. This powder has been sitting for a while. Let's just dust it off. I'm using my powder brush to dust it off, and by far, this is the makeup look we've achieved. Isn't it gorgeous? Let's come up and close to the camera. This is the time which I feel most nervous, but you can see what we have achieved. For highlighter in affordable section, this is one of my favorites. Though a little chunky, but still helps you to get that radiance. And last thing is getting a lipstick. This is absolutely your choice, whichever lipstick you want to use. I'm using this Maybelline's beautiful nude lipstick, and here it comes to the end. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, kindly like and subscribe to the channel. Take care. Bye bye.